Hello, friends, and welcome to Season 8 of the Hopeless Gamer not Season 8, it's Episode 8 of Season Hopeless Gamer Podcast. I'm doing well this early in the morning. Okay, so we have a massive show for you this week. We're going to be talking about Apex Legends Legacy, the new Bocek bow, arenas, and of course Valkyrie. We've also got the rumored PlayStation 5 internal redesign that's meant to make it easier for consumers to be able to purchase one. Also, we're going to be talking about the Epic versus Apple court case that's going because it's absolutely freaking hilarious so far. And of course, Xbox is celebrating its 20th anniversary along with Halo because let's face it, they are literally in each other's pockets. So we're going to be talking about our feelings about this massive landmark. But first, let's meet the crew. Unfortunately, we're one down today, but it's all good. We still have from New Zealand, we have Dirty Coxy.
How's it going?
And we also have BassMstrAU.
How you going?
Who's not from New Zealand.
No.
And of course, you're stuck with me, birdyassassin, because let's face it, you love me. So, super packed show, let's get right into it. Apex Legends Season 9, which has been called Legacy, and honestly, I kind of agree with it. They've made a lot of changes so far, and I actually think this naming procedure is pretty smart on there. And it feels a lot like they really want to bring Titanfall into this universe a lot more than just having the lore. Bringing in Valk, obviously, being the daughter of Viper, who was a boss battle in Apex Legends, in Titanfall 2. And not an easy one either. He's a pretty annoying prick to take on. So, yeah, they made the biggest injection of Titanfall into the Apex Legends universe. They also brought in the Bocek bow, which I have not heard of or seen or anything in any Titanfall lore whatsoever, but the thing is absolutely disgusting even after the nerf only weeks into the season, along with the Spitfire, but we'll talk about that in a second. Also the Arenas mode, which is a 3v3 mode where you literally have a buy selection and go and try and kill each other until the other team's wiped out, and it's a lot of fun, very fast paced. So, what do we think so far? Are these changes actually worth going back to Apex Legends if you haven't, or is it just a big lot of vomit that we shouldn't even bother about?
Well,
got me back in. I've actually been playing it a lot. Arenas has been interesting. I wouldn't say it's sort of brought the people over, I reckon, from COD.
I reckon it's brought a lot of COD people over as well.
Because of the way that the COD, the Cold War, the League play and all the rest of it. I think the next step for Arenas is going to be a ranked mode in Arenas. But I think the biggest thing that they need to do in Arenas is make some sort of, like you do in ranked, if you quit, you get penalized for it, because the amount of people that aren't having their games go right, that just turn around and just drop out and quit and all the rest of it is annoying as hell.
I have to agree with that one.
Just quickly on your mention about having a ranked mode, the very popular YouTuber and streamer of Apex Legends, Staycation, was putting out some pre-season footage that he got to test, and he just dropped randomly in the comments that he was like, oh yeah, I can't wait until they do the ranked mode that they've been talking about. And then he just kind of looked and he's like, was I meant to say that? So, like, take it with a grain of salt. It might not be it, but from what it seems like, he's been told there will be a ranked version of Arenas.
Well, I wouldn't have thought it would be that hard to implement.
That will be sweaty.
That will be very sweaty. You'll see me buying a Bocek every single
I hate that Bocek.
I love it.
I've played a lot of 3v3, and going back to the standard battle royale just sucks fucking ass. I can't get into it. I think I'm a 3v3 man for Apex life. I think I'm done with battle royale.
What do you think it is? It's the pace of it, or?
I think it is the pace. and shitty teammates.
Yeah.
The upgrade of the map is just it's put too much into it. They've tried to make it less open. Well, that's
Olympus.
what I feel. Yeah.
Okay, so unpopular opinion from me, but personally, I think what they need to do is they need to literally Olympus off. It's a shit map. Like, I'm sorry, Respawn, it's a piece of shit. I didn't play ranked in the second split for last season at all because it was on Olympus. Like, I was just like, no, you're done.
The sound, it's actually the sound in Olympus that's annoying because you can hear someone fighting halfway across the map and you just shoot up a balloon and go and chase them. You
Exactly.
can third party so easily, it is not funny in that map.
And I can tell you right now, with me and Kitten going in and exploring Olympus with the map changes and stuff like that, I was playing as Valk. We did that exactly same thing. As soon as we heard somebody, hooked on skydive from anywhere because I can, because I'm Valk, and we would just literally mop them up like it was nothing. Because people get shit scared when they see a Valk coming. It's hilarious.
Nah, I like to fight Valks, especially in 3v3. Because once they're flying, they can't shoot you back, so you just go for them.
And that's what I mean. Valk is not good in arenas. I solely admit that. I've been playing a lot of Valk in arenas to see if there's a way around it. There is not. It's the complete opposite to Horizon. If you see Horizon in arenas, take cover because they will stuff you completely. They can almost wipe a team when one grav lift, even though it's been nerfed into the ground. If you see a Valk, sit there, line it up, and wait.
Yeah,
Also, Fusey's the same. He can you.
Fusey's great in arenas.
Yeah, he's had a big upgrade and it's showing. Matt's doing great with him.
But the other side of it is that you notice that there's a lot of characters in Apex that just are absolute crap in arenas. But in things like that, Mirage seems to be going pretty good in arenas from videos that I've seen and everything.
I hate
Octane. Octane's another one. But like Loba is no use in
anything.
Any game mode, I don't think, to be honest. The only thing that it's good for is the setting up the shop.
Loba's abilities has been really forthcoming in ranked lately. A lot of YouTubers have been making a lot of videos about like her buffs and stuff like that, and has made her a formidable support character. And since they've changed the way that her teleportation works, she's really good at flanking now, like Pathfinder good.
Okay.
But you've got to be good at it.
Yeah, well, that's another one there. Pathfinder. Pathfinder is great. Seems to be pretty good in arenas to a certain degree, just being able to move around. But once they'd used their the hook one on it, I chased one down and it wasn't hard. He didn't even realize that I was running behind him and it just shot him in the head.
He only gets 2 grapples unless he buys more in arenas.
But the other thing is in arenas, you just get out the friggin' Spitfire and you just line people up. And if you got the purple one with the extended mag, you just like I've had a game in arenas where I just sat there and they just one after the other ran into me. And it was just one clip and I took all 3 of them out.
So let's talk about that a little bit. The Spitfire nerf. What do we think?
Has it been nerfed?
Yeah, that's the question.
It has. I tested it in the firing range because I was really pissed they also nerfed my baby bow check.
No, they needed to nerf that bow.
But the other side of it is they did buff the 30-30 and that's just been absolute fun with the right hop ups and the right setup on that.
You can just such use an that as of that thing off.
That gun has now turned in from being something that was sort of medium range-ish to now I can use it in arenas when you're doing the what's that map where you pretty much everyone just goes up to the top and goes across the zip lines and meets in the
Oh
middle
yeah.
there. Like the old building or whatever it is. Anyway, you just jump up on the first building and you just sit there with a 30-30 and you just sit there pinging everyone as they're trying to jump on. But in saying that, the best one I found so far is you can just get up there with a Spitfire with the 2 times on it, and as soon as they get on those zip lines, you can take pretty much most of their shield off them by the time they get to the other side. The only one I haven't caught out is if someone flies a Valk across there.
See, I'm wrecking with the RE45. That's where most of my kills have come from.
I love that thing.
Yeah.
I've always loved that thing.
Because
What
you can
about-
upgrade it straight away.
What about
First
the
round.
alternator versus 99? I reckon
Ah.
alternator's pretty much, if I had the 2 to pick up from, I'd pick up an alternator over a 99, to be honest.
So that's an interesting discussion with me. Last season, I would have picked the alternator, and I would any other season I would never touch that thing because I hated it. It was disgustingly inaccurate. It didn't do damage, and it was just a piece of crap. I could kill more people with a 45 with no ammo pretty much than I could with an alternator. The 99 has been amazing. And last season, they made it really unstable. And the alternator was really stable. It could rip through people like nothing, right? This season, they've kept the alternator the same, but they've put the stability back into the 99. But they're almost the same gun.
Yeah.
The only real difference is the 99 has less ammo and a higher rate of fire. So you might be able to, in the early stages of it being like, almost unmodified, the alternator wins. But I reckon you get a fully purple, or let's say gold 99, I don't think you can beat it.
Might have to give the 99 a run in arenas because I tried the alternator this morning. I just can't hit with it. I'd rather take a 45.
The 45 is
Fucking
the most stable out of all of them. It just doesn't have the clip or the damage.
I think I need to go into the firing range for the 99 and just see what it's...
I spend hours in the firing range. I honestly do.
Oh, well, since arenas has come in, I don't even go in. I normally sometimes would spend like 1 or 2 goes in the firing range just to get my eye in before I go into ranked or anything like that. Now I just do it in arenas.
I do a lot of testing in the firing range. Like I tested the Bowcheck and the Spitfire and that when they got nerfed and things like that. I played around with the 30-30 a little bit and thought, okay, yeah, it's a bit better, whatever. Until I picked it up in that game where I was streaming and you saw, holy crap, that thing can rip now.
Yeah, well, there was that ranked match that one night where I just took out 3 guys in the space of...
I think you dropped more than 3 though.
In the space of... Because we were just getting third-partied after third-partied, and they just run around the corner and they just drop them. But that's once you got your eye in with it and you know what it's... The biggest thing with a 30-30 is knowing how the drop is. Once you know what the drop is it over what distances... But the other side of it is you could turn around and use it like a shotgun.
Yeah, with the
when you're
shadow
up close
caps.
and personal.
I don't think the drop-off is as ridiculous as it was last season. I honestly don't. I think they've
still
improved.
there. It is still there over a long distance.
Yeah.
Like you're, when it's got the little dashes underneath it, when you scoped in, it's normally 1 or 2 you're going up because that's the drop you're going to get over a fair distance.
Fair enough.
You can still use it to shield, like get your shield upgrades.
Yeah, it's
Armor
good for
upgrades.
farming.
The other one that's sneaking around is the old L-Star.
Oh, that thing.
In arenas, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What, like in close combat?
Even
it's
medium.
It's just phenomenal how many people you can take down. And I've got I can't think of a counter for it. The only thing I think when that getting shot with an L-Star is to run.
Yeah.
used to run and hide somewhere else, and then sort of just get out of their firing and then come back.
No, that's the problem with the L-Star, though. So it's got such big red flary rounds that you see it coming and you feel like you can't even get out of its way. It's ridiculous. You can't even see the person that's firing at you because they're like just clouded in red.
Once they're locked in on you and they start feathering it so they don't need to reload, you just got to get out and go, because there's no way you can shoot back. There's no way you can get even a Spitfire back and get enough rounds into them to kill them by the time that they've killed you with that thing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm a little bit sad it doesn't blow out doors like it used to when it first came out. Remember when it was a care package only weapon?
Yeah.
And you could literally blow doors off the hinges with it. It doesn't do that anymore. That's really disappointing to me.
I had I think I can remember a ranked match or whatever. Someone thought that they could hide behind a door. And I just arc started it, and then obviously they hadn't played ranked very much or something like that, because it just blew the door off, and I just shot them, and then like, because they thought they could just pin behind the door and health up, and like, instead of kicking it, I was just throwing arc star at it. I was like, yeah, let this go, and I just pretty much stayed aimed at the door, and as soon as the door dropped, I just took him out.
With Fuse, his knuckle cluster, can that blow doors out?
Don't think it does. I know I've shot it at a few doors and everything like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Most of the time when I'm shooting it at the doors are open because I'm getting the people inside.
So, say with Valk, like her little missile barrage thing, I reckon is a lot of people's like, oh shit, it doesn't kill anything. It doesn't. It's not meant to. It will blow doors off though, and if it hits somebody, it stuns the crap out of them. I've had it complete team wipes because I've got them in that freaking stun section, and you just sit there with a 99 or a 301 or something, just whoop, you're all dead. It's ridiculous.
That's what I was doing in some of the arena games, because when you lose, I've worked out once you lose a few arena matches, the old they bump you down in who you get to verse, so you'll end up with the lower level people and people that haven't grasped what the characters can do yet. So if you've got Valk, you can stun a whole group of them if they're out in the open, and then the other guys just come through and wipe them. So that, if people are saying that the Valk one doesn't do anything, I don't think they know how to use it properly.
Oh, they don't.
No, I have to agree.
Yeah. Valk is stupid powerful in ranked and battle royale. Probably not the best in arenas, but I mean, you can get away with it if you know what you're really doing. But yeah, it's a little bit back and forth. I don't think she's overpowered. I don't think she's as powered as Horizon was when she first came out. That she was really overpowered, and I still think she still is. But it's the complete opposite to Fuse. When he came out, he was underpowered as hell, and I'm glad he got a buff.
But on the other side of it,
get buff first.
What was that? I didn't hear that.
I reckon they'll give her a buff first, and then they'll probably bring it back a little bit.
Valk?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when in ranked, I actually don't like watching streamers playing ranked and everything like that. I don't know how it goes in the competitive Apex thing, but in the ones that are just playing ranked to rank up and everything like that, if you're not running a Valk, it just seems to be a disadvantage, because as soon as you're getting those third-party things, if your Valk can get out and get clear, because once she goes into that flight mode, she's pretty vulnerable to take down. Because that's what I've been doing. As soon as I seen a Valk get into that mode, I just shoot her. Because all you got to do is get a couple of shots into her, it cancels her flight mode, and she can't do it again for a little while.
Yeah.
But the other side of it is it allows people to get out quick.
It does. So, like, obviously with the gameplay trailer and stuff like that, it showed Valk doing her ultimate ability, skydiving in arenas in Kings Canyon with teams firing at them, and she just pops it off, gets a couple of people on her, and just flies out. Me and Kitten tried doing that in Battle Royale. I literally just got freaking crabered from across the map. I'm like, well, that didn't fucking work.
Yeah, you got to watch where you're doing it, because that's which I don't have anything against, because it's one of those things. If you see a team that's going to try and get out, if going into flight mode made Valk invincible, then that would just be too unfair.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be able to try and drop the team, because she can just go into that mode and they can just hook up and they're invincible, and out they go.
I think it's really good for getting into the circle. Like, it's absolutely amazing for that, because it stops a lot of circle sniping and shit.
Yeah, I've seen it in two really good cases, in the fact that I've seen one team use a Valk to get up and get out of what was a 5-team thing in ranked, to get to the other side of the circle where there was no teams, and then they've just turned around and wiped all the remaining squads and actually won that one. And then I've also seen it where, same sort of thing, where you're seeing teams go out and loot further than they normally do, stay out there longer because they know that they can use the Valk one to get into the circle instead of having to run.
Yeah, that's
or
what I've been
balloon it.
doing.
So
But yeah, it's an interesting character. Like, the one thing I didn't realize when I was playing Valk in Arenas was, because I didn't really use the ultimate, and the first time I tried it was on Olympus, and we were pinned down behind some crates, so we were safe. As soon as you activate it, obviously she's hovering, her head's above the crates.
Yep.
And I just got taken out. I'm like, right, okay, sure, I'm taller than normal, right? Like
yeah,
playing
it's-
Pathfinder on top of a Pathfinder.
oh, we'll see how it evolves.
So what do we think so far? Like, obviously, Coxy does not like the bow check.
No, it's ridiculous. It's
I can't.
overpowered.
I can't use it.
I
Like,
will admit, since they nerfed it, I haven't seen it as much in arenas.
Since they nerfed it, I've been getting 9-kill games and ranked with it.
but it has its place in it, sort of thing. I think it's just one of those things that's happened with every new weapon they've brought in. It takes them a couple of weeks to nerf it once everyone works out how it works and how to exploit it, how to get it to do what they need it to do. And then they just play around with it and bring it back to a level where it's on par with other weapons.
Like, honestly, it was a game changer in arenas. When I started using it, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use arenas to practice with the bow check. And I lost a lot of games because of it. But I figured out, like, if you could pull off that first headshot on somebody, it did like 122 damage on a headshot before it got nerfed. It was a game changer. That person was practically out of the game already. Like, one more shot, they were gone. It was ridiculous because it did a body shot of 70 and it did a headshot of 122. It's ridiculous. Now it's like 102 on a headshot if they don't have a helmet on, and 60 on a body shot. Or you can do a little flick shot quickly without charging it up, and it does like 30, 33 maybe. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's been arenas has been interesting. Like, I have seen some people getting out the old Sentinel.
that thing's a shotgun pretty much in this mode. I don't get it.
And using it. I've just different bits and pieces of way of doing it. Some games some of the maps I'm starting to learn that there is alternate ways to attack the map. We took out. There was one game I played where we ended up winning it. We lost the first one, and then we came through and won the next 3. All because we just didn't attack them. We knew that they were going to the circle every time. The first game they went to the circle, so we went to the circle. The next game they went to the circle because we knew it because of the map they're on, where they go through those transporter things and you can hear them come out the other side. So we flanked them. They didn't expect it coming. And then we flanked them again. Then we flanked them again, and we won 3 games by just not going directly at them.
Yeah.
We'd go around the opposite way, loot up sort of thing, and then come in, and we were getting to the point where the third game, we made them come find us. We just sat on the edge of the circle, and they came looking for us, And then next thing you know, they had two Spitfires pointed at them, and we just mowed them down with one person going through with a pistol and cleaning them up. It was the most randomest thing with random people. But once everyone knew what they were needed to do, we just gelled.
Yeah, I think you find you don't. Yeah, with that game mode, you don't have to play zone because most of the time games are over before the zone's in anyway. So
Yep. And the other thing I've been doing, which not many people have been I've only noticed some of the serious games that you get where you get to the 3-person squads that have played it a lot is no one's using the care packages. Even though they take a while to come in, those more intense games where you are waiting for them to come in, no one's using the care packages.
No, they're all too scared to go for it because they think they've been camped.
And I've been using them because I just use it to buy a powerful first weapon and then know the fact that as soon as the care package comes in, I just run in there and I grab a second one. Or you swap your gun out for something else.
I must admit, I haven't really been playing care packages either. Just one of those things.
It can be a game changer.
RE45.
Oh, I've pulled out like a purple 301 out of a care package and stuff like that. And when obviously because of the fact that with the Spitfire and everything, when you spawn out, you spawn with 400 odd rounds or something like that for it. So you don't really need another gun. You can just pretty much spray and pray with that thing. But the care packages has been good to pick up different guns. I think the only thing that I find that I lack in arenas is to go and loot the bins, get the healths out of it.
Yeah, so I've been using the bins a lot more lately. Just because if you have the health, it's the game. It makes the game.
Yeah, I've been full killing people just to get the health that they drop.
Exactly.
Because they'll drop health and stuff like that.
Some people think that's a waste of time.
Yes and no, because the other side of it's been where I've gone and wiped, like if we've wiped 2 people down and we're healthing up or something like that, that third person that's alive will go and try and pick one of the other ones up. So unless you know where those two are, they'll normally res someone else, and you find because that's the biggest issues I've had with games where it's swung back the opposite way is because we haven't been quick enough to push that third person and they get someone else back up and they come back after you.
But yeah, so obviously it's like the new season is really good. The new weapons are really good. Valk is good in most instances. Do you think the balancing is fair so far?
Depends which mode you're playing in.
Yeah.
The 2 different modes has made you think about your character choice in different things.
I still think Horizon needs to be nerfed more. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But there's also other things that need to happen. There's just, I don't know, they need to look at the stats maybe and have a look at what characters are not being used, because there's some of those ones I don't think they're being used too much, like
Rampart,
yeah. Like
Ramparts I've seen being used in arenas a lot more than normal.
Only when you've got teams that, like, not only when you've got people that know how to use it and can get those shields down, those covers down. But I don't see.
The only other place I've really seen it used is ranked, because people set up shields everywhere inside the circle and stay there. They're just farming positioning points.
Yeah, or but the other side of it is like Bloodhound in arenas. It's sort of,
he's deadly.
I don't know.
Well,
it's good to have that scan.
Think about it this way.
What about the nerf with Lifeline and no shield?
That's a game changer.
That is a game changer. She's a lot less used in ranked. And
I've actually seen people use it to farm points, like just let them use the Lifeline to res it up, and they just stay prone, like shot on the character. Once the character reses up, just kill them again.
Oh yeah, for comps
and stuff like that, just to get damage and kills or whatever else. I don't know whether it counts as 2 kills that way or what it does, but it's been interesting to see. You now have to, with Lifeline, if you want to res someone, you now have to more look at the cover you can try and get them into instead of just running out there and
which I think
resing
is
them and
fair.
knowing
It was ridiculous.
Well, the only other thing I can think of is whether that or whether they should not have the shield have as much health. Maybe it should only just be like a bullet sponge, like not a bullet sponge, but be able to take like maybe 1 or 2 bullets and it's gone. So it is there.
So you think it should be like the top of a rampart drop shield type thing? Like
yeah, maybe a bit less. Cause
yeah, but that's what I mean. Like you can actually take it out because before you couldn't. It was invulnerable, just like the Gibby dome.
Yeah. So just have it. Maybe it appears it can use it to have it as a shield, but it's like you can know that you could start firing at it and only you'll get 2 or 3 bullets into it, then it will drop, and the rest of it. I don't want it so that you have to use half a clip to take the bloody shield down, then you've only got the other half. It should be the fact that with the clip that you've got, whether they make it the blue slice clip for most guns or whatever, that clip can take the shield down and the person that's being rezzed.
Oh, Kiwi has to find a new main character now. Now that he got heirloom for her.
The only heirloom you'll ever get. The only real obvious. I honestly don't think that taking away her shield is like that big of a deal. I think it makes it more fair. What I am really annoyed about what they did with her was you like if you're on Xbox, you hold what X to revive somebody as lifeline.
Yeah.
Yep. If you keep holding it down, it automatically cancels the res.
Did not know that.
It's fucking annoying. I tried to revive somebody 3 times, not knowing what was going on. So I pressed it. It started reviving them, and it says on the screen, press X to cancel revive. I'm like, why would you want that? On like, it's a remote freaking revive. I'm running across. No, I don't want to revive you anymore. You don't need to be revived. It's bullshit.
Did not know that one.
Because I thought someone was trolling me by like, it was in arenas like when it first came out. This lifeline was getting me up and then not getting me up and then getting me up and then not getting me up. What the hell's happening? And I played like lifeline a few games after and I was like, what is this? It's so weird. Like you have to know what you're doing. It's not just a button mashing exercise anymore to revive somebody with lifeline. It's press the button, start getting them up, run the hell away and don't press that button again until you're outside the range, because if you go to reload, it cancels the freaking thing.
They might have to change that.
Stupid.
So you can't reload your gun, so you need to reload your gun before you res.
Yeah, or like if you're within the vicinity of the drone, it will cancel it. It's just stupidity. I don't get it. Like, I would say make it Y, but people swapping weapons will do the same thing. You can't jump. You like make it the ping button. I don't know.
Don't have a cancel at all. Once you set it off, you set it off.
Make it down on the D-pad. I mean, that's only used for emotes anyway, so who cares?
The emote spammers care, man.
I like the emotes actually. It took us 9 seasons. We finally have freaking emotes in Apex Legends.
Well, then the only other thing you've been waiting for is a death cam, so maybe that'll take another 9 seasons.
Oh my god, I don't want it. I don't want the game to become Call of Duty, but it needs a freaking kill cam, because otherwise, how the hell are you meant to know if you got taken out legitimately or by a cheater? That's all I'm saying.
Half the time now, if someone comes up that says it's in whatever you call it, streamer mode or whatever, so it's just says player blah 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 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And if you go into your death thing and you just see like 5 shots and you're dead, I instantly think that they are hacking. There's no use. Like, there's no reason why you wouldn't. You'd be hiding your gamer tag.
Someone on the other side of artillery hits you with a 99. Complete headshots, not one miss from a headshot. Yeah, no, they're not cheating at all.
I've had a couple of arena matches where they've had those people that are just sitting in streamer mode, and you go and look at the kill thing, and they've hit you with just all headshots, and you're like, yeah, that doesn't seem sus at all, does it? So
And it makes us streamers look bad.
Yep.
Honestly, I thought when I was streaming and I got put into arenas by myself against 3 people, Bloodhound with the bow check is the best freaking thing. I wiped all 3 of them by myself. Only in 1 round.
They
But it was still funny.
realised that they stuffed up on that by just letting them all run around on their own.
They all
So you
came
just
at me
took them out one by
separately, and
one.
I had a bow and I had a bloodhound. They were screwed. Next round, I immediately got wiped out like I was nothing because they all stuck really close together.
Focus fire.
But
And they
yeah,
all had
no,
Spitfires.
there has to be a penalty for people leaving because that's ridiculous.
They didn't leave. I never got a full team. I loaded in by myself somehow. It just never.
Which I don't get, because the queues for arenas is normally like 60 odd people waiting for it.
Yeah. It was my second game on for that day, and I pressed it and it was like, oh shit, there's not 2 more. Oh no. And I was hoping like in the character selection they would just load in late. Nah, never happened. I'm like, I'm stuffed.
The only other thing I want to say with arenas is, why can't we get the care package weapons? Why can't we have a prowler? Why can't we have a triple take?
I think it's because when they become care package weapons, they pump them up, like they make them more deadly than normal, and they don't want that in arenas.
Imagine 3
Well,
people running around with prowlers every frigging game.
Looks like 3 people running around with Spitfires. If you got Spitfires that are in blue or purple with the clips on them and they're focus firing, you've got no hope. You just have to duck and weave.
Well, I practiced with the triple take a little bit because I still haven't picked one up even in Battle Royale. Honestly, not this season at all. But yeah, I picked one up in the firing range, and it is a lot more powerful than it used to be.
Oh,
You could
see
rip
what
with that
happens.
thing. I just got to find one. Anyway, we
That's
better
fine,
move
yeah.
on because we've spent a lot of time just talking about Apex. But what we think it's a good change.
I think it's going forward
That's good.
in the game.
Think it lives up to the legacy name.
Well, it's either going to make it or fail it. It was like I reckon they've sort of made it. They've definitely, you can see it. I don't know. The best way I gauge games is I go onto Twitch and other streaming services, or to YouTube and stuff, and see how many people are watching those games.
Been
And there's a
destroying
lot more.
Fortnite lately.
But then that's the funny thing is, Fortnite's got bows in there as well, and took the sniper rifles out and put bows in, and that's made that game a lot more fun.
Do they not have snipers at all anymore?
There's no snipers rifles in there at all now. And they've got four or five different sorts of bows. So you've got a fire bow, you've got one that uses those bouncer things, so you can shoot it in there and it just bounces the guys out everywhere. It's funny as hell when they're inside boxes and stuff, and you shoot the thing in there and they go flying out. And yeah, so you got the flame one, then the bouncer one, then you've got one where you build, like, merge a bow and grenades together, so you get an explosive bow. So they got your different bow types to what you're doing, and it's actually made the game a lot more fun. I've been having fun with it. You get 200-meter bow kills just and then you get people that are build big structures in wood, and you shoot them out. You just shoot the wood with a flame bow and set the whole thing on fire, and you just watch their health go down.
So what you're telling me is they've made a way to improve Fortnite by kicking Ninja out.
I don't
No,
know.
no.
He loaded up the other day. I think he put a video up about still got it, and it was him loading into Fortnite. And then he had a little screenshot thing on Twitter the other day going, what's happening here? And it's got Fortnite updating on his computer.
Typical.
But
Okay.
anyways,
that's enough about
onto
Fortnite.
the PlayStation.
Because Fortnite's taken up more than 30 seconds of my year, so.
Yeah. I have to agree.
So, PlayStation, it seems, has a plan to increase their production numbers of the PlayStation 5 console, and it's in the form of a redesign. It was mentioned by the Sony CFO, Hiroki Tokoki. I have mashed that name, I'm very sorry. During a shareholders call, The redesign is meant to make it easier to produce more consoles at a faster rate during the current semiconductor shortage. The plan apparently is to move away from the current 7nm AMD system on chip and build new internals based off of a new 6nm system on chip from TSMC, which in turn will actually make it easier for them to get more components that they need because they're used a lot less so far. They're not as popular because it's a newer technology and more expensive. So hopefully their plan is that with more components available, they'll actually be able to produce more PlayStation 5 consoles at a faster rate so more consumers can buy them and more scalpers can probably snap them all up and sell them at $3,000.
Is it the new chip that they're looking at cheaper than the current one?
No, that article that originally came out and you sent me was bullshit.
Okay, so
It was completely backwards. I don't know how they got it so wrong because
going from a 7. They'd probably assume going from a 7 to a 6 means that the CPUs would have been cheaper or the processors would have been cheaper.
Well, the 6nm are more expensive. Like the smaller the nanometer chipset, like on your semiconductors, the more efficient they are, and you can run a lot more power through them.
We're going to end up with a PlayStation 5 Pro, are we?
Well, in saying that, there was rumors last December coming out from Bloomberg saying that the PlayStation 5 Pro was apparently already being designed with a 5nm chip and dual GPU chips.
Yeah, I remember that one floating around and thought, no, surely they're not going to bring a Pro out so early.
Well, I think they'd be designing it pretty quickly, but I don't think they're going to have dual GPU chips for the simple fact that no freaking game really is compatible with SLI these days for dual GPUs on PC, so why the hell would game developers sit there and try and do it for freaking consoles?
I'm going to say, yeah, because the old SLI days are gone because most of them aren't supporting it these days. So
Exactly.
Well, you can only slide 3090s. You can't slide anything less in the 30 series, so what's the point?
I mean, 20 series and all that had them, but game developers just aren't doing it anymore. So the only real reason why you do that is literally for encoding video or something like that. Massive renders.
Yeah, I think gone are the days.
Fact, freaking crypto miners.
I used to run. I've run slice setup before, but that was because it was the only way to run triple monitors.
Exactly, but now
you can run
monitors right now with one.
I was going to say you can run up to 4 monitors now off one graphics card, so the technology's evolved, so they don't need to have the dual card set up anymore. But in saying that, I thought Sony would want to more concentrate on getting some freaking games out.
Apparently 25 titles at the moment are being worked on.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of first-party studios, and they've obviously brought on Insomniac, which they just did the license for Sunset Overdrive, which was an Xbox One launch title. So, because that's apparently, well, technically it's owned by PlayStation now as an Xbox exclusive.
But yeah, my thinking is they just haven't pushed the PS5 yet. Like, you can't expand the internal storage. We've only just got the ability to do external hard drives on it. I don't get why you'd want to be doing. I understand the redesign because I'm guessing they're getting hold of chips that no one wants to use. That's why they're getting hold of a lot of them to build these.
Well, the TSMC chips, that's the Taiwan Semiconductor something. I can't remember what it stands for. It's a different company altogether. They make semiconductors for AMD and stuff like that, but they're going straight to the source rather than going through AMD to get it.
Yeah.
So,
but I know that there's a huge chip shortage worldwide on a lot of things, from anything from car audios having shortage at the moment to computer components.
Yeah, I mean, technically there's blenders that use semiconductors, so...
I saw an article this morning. The biggest selling console for last month was PlayStation 4.
Really? I thought it'd be Switch.
5. No, that Switch is having issues getting parts as well.
I know. And
they can't keep up with demand. It's like PlayStation 4 outselling 5. That's weird.
There are some ridiculous deals going around at the moment because apparently there's still a lot in stock.
I saw EB Games having a massive sale on refurbished consoles.
Oh, that's because they literally have freaking hundreds of thousands of them that they paid nothing for, put all secondhand parts into them to get them going, just enough to sell them with a 3-month warranty. But we're not going to bitch about this week.
I wonder how many consoles survive past the 3-month warranty.
Yeah, not many.
Well, the end of the day is the other thing. PlayStation 4 consoles people will be buying them for is to be able to just buy pay PlayStation games, because there's not many 5 only games coming out, so there's not that need to do it. And most of the new Sony games I've seen coming out are all PlayStation 4 games, and you don't really have much of the old backwards compatibility happening. Like, you can just buy an Xbox and play anything from OG Xbox all the way to a Series X on the one console.
Well, they
I
had
did
a
not.
trailer a little while ago saying there was 4,000 plus backwards compatible games for PlayStation.
In saying that, I did notice when I was logging into the PlayStation app to get Horizon Zero Dawn, because that was free, and
Good game.
Ratchet and Clank, that I could put both of them on my PlayStation 5 to play without having to put them on the PS4. And I was able to put Fall Guys on my PlayStation 5 for my son, but I'm still running out of bloody space on it. I've got to work out. I'm going to do some trial and error on there, because I want to know if I put those PlayStation 4 games. It comes up with a big thing saying that, like disclaimer thing saying that, to do with compatibility, saying that all the features that you might expect on this game in a PlayStation 4 might not happen on the PlayStation 5. I'm like, well, shouldn't it have all those features plus new ones? But I don't know. So, but the other thing I want to try is if I put the PlayStation 4 games that I want to run on my PlayStation 5 on an external hard drive, will it run?
I actually don't know that answer.
I want to try that out. So
I think they do run like PS4 off an external hard drive. I think they do run from memory. There was some issues with it at the beginning, but I think they fixed it. Like what was it? November last year, the new consoles came out.
Yeah.
And we're in May now.
6 months took
Right,
them to
and
just
they
get
still
external
haven't-
hard drive compatible.
Well, they still haven't got that freaking expansion storage slot activated.
Yeah, and I don't know whether they're waiting for maybe it's the chip shortage that's happening that's occurring, that they want to do their own Sony branded
M.2.
expansion slots. Well, just the fact that they want to do their own ones to be able to allow people to fit it themselves and then warrant it if they follow the Sony instructions to do it. But similar sort of thing, like with Microsoft and their little external 1 terabyte Seagate things, which to me are about $200 overpriced to what you can pay for them. Normally, Sony want to do the same thing as that. They just haven't worked out how to do it yet without the console overheating, or I
That
don't know,
was a
whatever
rumor.
issues. The rumor of overheating, or whether they're just trying to work out how. I'm assuming the board's all there. It's just going to be a case of like push it in and put a screw in, and then away it goes.
I think it's on the back. You flick open a panel, take a screw out, put it in, put the flat back across, screw it back in, and then put the back panel on.
Yeah, it's just an M.2 NVMe drive. That's all it is. It's a standard size and everything. Their biggest thing was that apparently there was none on the market fast enough to keep up with what they wanted, but Samsung have their Evo M.2, which is fast enough from all reports.
It has 7 gig read-write speeds.
Something like that.
So surely that's enough.
I think what it is Sony want to do it under their own little brand and charge their little premium for it, which I don't care. I just want I'd love another 2 terabyte in there, but 1's fine. And I'm waiting for Xbox. Can Xbox people pull their finger out and do a 2 terabyte or a 4 terabyte or something like that?
That's what I was hoping for.
4 terabyte minimum.
And it's because the stuff is getting cheaper and cheaper. My only thing is to put it down to the fact that we got this chip shortage. So the chip shortage is just halting development and stuff like that. So I don't know whether we just need to see that production start happening for all this stuff and then we're away.
I think that's the problem as well. Like, these companies can't even produce consoles at this point, so I don't think they really want to push that envelope with making big storage expansions and stuff like that are proprietary. Because otherwise, what's the point?
But the other side of that, in arguing that you can't keep the consoles up, if you do produce those storage solutions, you know that you're not going to have a huge demand for it. So if you're constantly improving production and then you do these storage solutions and you start getting demand for those, you're going to end up with the same sort of thing as they're having now, where people wanting the consoles and everything. Well, my thing is, well, if we can't get all the consoles going out, well, maybe we do the storage solutions to help the people that have already got these consoles. So then you're not getting the huge demand on that. So then it's sort of working, like they're working against each other, but working with each other in the fact that as they're releasing consoles, they're releasing storage as well.
I have noticed more and more frequently we're getting over in New Zealand, we're getting suppliers having stock of both consoles. So are we getting prioritized where they're sending them, or is just the demand for them starting to slow?
Well, I noticed the PS5 and Xbox Series X pre-orders are starting to come back up again because they've managed to clear the backlog.
Yeah,
but
that's been happening around
in saying that, the two people that I've seen doing it are the two that would probably take your money and then tell you got 6 months to wait for it anyway.
Exactly. The other thing is, when was the last story that you heard about scalpers buying everything?
I haven't heard anything for a while.
That's what I mean. I think they've kind of stopped. Like, I don't think they can sell the current ones that they have anymore, and they've just, why buy more?
Yeah, I've noticed the prices and stuff are starting to come back down, but I have seen Series X's and PS5s up at about the $1,000 mark.
Well, it's better than 1,500 like it used to be.
Well, I've seen a couple recently, and then the comments in under it are just bashing the person for trying to flip it and make money. So I don't know how they're going about that, but yeah, I did see there was a website that claimed they'd flipped 100,000 consoles.
There's I've noticed on Facebook Marketplace, like every now and then when I see one come up, it only lasts like an hour or two, and I think they've been getting removed, like because they're breaching terms and conditions or something. So unless
I know eBay was starting to crack down on people scalping consoles on there and stuff like that. Because I know that I've been seeing a few consoles going up on there for like starting price $800, starting price $750 sort of thing. So they're starting the price at what the console normally sells for, and then letting people bid them way up to whatever they're going to do. So they know they're going to get their money back, and whatever they make on top of that's just the extra sort of thing. But I think at the end of the day is if people are making this happen, if you stop buying off scalpers aren't going to want to do anything. It's like some of the organizations that are doing stuff in America and everything, when you try to buy those and they can sell out in a couple of hours, the end of the day is it's just because some manufacturers and stuff like that are tailoring it towards scalpers making money off it, which I don't get in this day and age, why you can't just say, yeah, you want one and it's going to be X amount. Like, everyone understands what the world economy is like at the moment. Like, yeah, people are happy to pay a deposit and get told, look, it's going to turn up when it's going to turn up.
Yeah, it's not a great time for it, unfortunately, but people are willing to wait to have some sort of happiness in their lives at this point.
But people are still buying them, so you know.
Got to stop. Same with GPUs for PCs.
Oh,
It won't happen until
30
because their mine is
series.
gone.
30 series is just silly.
Any new
Even-
GPU is silly.
Oh, because of Bitcoin mining and all the rest of it.
It's just that and
30.
scalpers and everything.
3080s over here are, I think, 2600, and you're looking at 3500 plus for a 3090 at the moment.
It's stupid. And like even when AMD brought out their new Radeon GPUs, which were overpriced, everyone knew it, and not as good as the 30 series from Nvidia, and scalpers took all them as well.
I think the biggest thing that's hurting the graphics industry is the chip shortage.
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest thing that's just hurting for everyone. So whether it's the fact that new markets need to all be opened up in different countries to start manufacturing chips elsewhere, or what's going to happen.
Apparently, Biden has done something that's going to allow America to have 2 new semiconductor manufacturers in the next 3 years or something stupid.
Problem is they need to act on it quickly, because otherwise you're not going to, if they can't do chipsets and all the rest of it, I don't know, we're going to just see a lull for the next couple of years of anything coming out. Is this the after effects of having the world shut down for 12 months, 2 years sort of thing from coronavirus, that the follow-on effects is where it's really going to be affected?
Well, there was industry analysts that was saying, like, especially in Taiwan and Singapore and stuff like that, if they shut down for 6 to 12 months, it could have effects for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So that's just the world we're in at the moment. But
Yeah, and you got China that wants to just declare war on everyone. So
no, we'll see how that works out for them.
Australia at the moment.
I don't know. I just noticed that is it Hawaii, whatever it is, that all their 5G towers that they put through Europe are all being ripped out now and replaced.
Really?
Yep.
Oh shit.
Huawei's all spying on us.
Apparently, because all their stuff in Europe's getting all ripped out. Anyways, Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Now we're skipping that.
Skipping that one?
Yeah.
All right, we'll come
We're
back.
going on to the
Afterwards.
Epic versus Apple war. So, as this little fight continues on in the courtroom, which is absolutely hilarious because it's literally 2 massive probably 2 of the biggest companies in the world, apart from Microsoft and Sony. Who can think of a bigger?
Microsoft got a divorce to go through first.
Amazon,
yeah. So it's probably 2 of the biggest companies in the world, literally having a go at each other's throats in front of a court who know nothing about the gaming industry. The judge, the jury, they're all just...
I want to know what the average age of the judge and the jury is. Is like average age of 40s, never know what a console is in their life.
I think the judge is in their 50s.
I'm waiting for Epic Games just to roll in some of those console carts and say, look, this is what a console is. This is how you play the game.
They kind of have.
apparently they got Nintendo to put a Switch together on the stand.
Yeah,
and
because
show them.
Okay.
The head of Epic had to show them, like, oh, this is an Xbox console, and like this is its architecture and stuff like that, and this is how you play it. And then he played a Switch, and she's like, oh, you look a bit confused by the Nintendo. And he's like, well, I don't play one normally. He's like, well, you're meant to be the expert. I would have gone slapped her across the face with it and gone, you don't even know what the thing is. But anyway, so yeah, they have no idea about the gaming industry whatsoever, which I find absolutely hilarious, because listening into the public call that's been literally streamed live over Twitch is absolutely hilarious. There's been a lot of sensitive information coming out of the industry from Nintendo and Microsoft and Sony and Epic and Apple, because the court has literally said, we need all this stuff so we can understand the gaming industry. So they've literally taken all this classified information from Microsoft and all that and literally made it public. And they have no choice. Nintendo is begging for them to redact a lot of the information, and the judges turned around and said to Nintendo, it's already out there. What are you going to do? So it's Pretty harsh. They've brought into sensitive files from Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Apple, and Epic Games for them to learn about it. My personal favorite so far has been Sony was charging developers money to enable crossplay on their games.
And then wanting the royalties from the skin purchases in the game.
It's just ridiculous. Microsoft having to explain to the judge multiple times, and I listened to the clip, it was hilarious, that they have never made a profit from an Xbox console at all. The judge could not get it through her head that a lot of hardware manufacturers sell their hardware at a loss so they can make money off the software in the ecosystem. She just couldn't fathom it whatsoever. And also, Epic Games introducing Peely in a tuxedo, which Peely is the banana from Fortnite.
Yep.
And the discussion went on as follows. We have a large yellow banana here in a tuxedo, the lawyer asked. This was the Apple lawyer. And Epic Games said, yes, that's Peely. We thought it better to go with a suit instead of a naked banana because we're in federal court right now. Apple's lawyer then noted that before going on to ask about Peely's exclusivity in certain paid-for battle passes, this is a really bad transcript. The protocol lawyer Nick Statt suggested the line of questioning was intended by Apple to paint Epic as some greedy game company exploiting children, exposing them to lewd content, as in a naked banana.
Yeah, Apple are marketing the Watch SE to kids.
Exactly.
As an ability for parents to track where their kids are, and that's a $600 watch.
It's ridiculous. Epic's lawyer later took the stand and said the company decided to call out on Apple's attack on its banana, saying, a little bit of digression, we talked about Peely, our banana. There might have been an implication that showing Peely without a suit might have been inappropriate. And the judge, I'm pretty sure, said, is there anything inappropriate about Peely without clothes? And Epic's lawyer turned around and said, it's just a banana, man. And that has become a meme. I'm not even joking. Linus Tech Tips are putting it on a shirt. It's just a banana, man.
It's just... So I'm trying to work out, because it's obviously this has dragged on for ages. This is to do with the fact that Epic discounted their V-Bucks and Apple couldn't get a slice of it.
Yeah, so what happened was, if you bought V-Bucks on your iPhone through the Apple Store, obviously it's a 70-30 split, so 30% of that goes to Apple. Epic turned around and made it so you could purchase V-Bucks at a cheaper rate inside the app itself, not through Apple. It went straight through Epic's own servers, and they discounted it, and this was in the app itself, it meant that nothing went through Apple's payment system. So they couldn't get a slice of the pie. And they removed Fortnite and all the Epic games from the App Store because of it.
That explains why you see iPads and stuff on eBay for $5,000, because they got Fortnite installed on them still. I'm not joking. People are selling iPads and iPhones and everything secondhand. Like, one person was like, "Oh, it's $700 for the phone, or if you want me to leave Fortnite on there, it's $2,000 for the phone."
That's Flappy Bird all over again.
How would it work? It's an online-only game.
If it's still installed on the device, you can still use it. You just can't purchase it.
And Apple are just allowing the server to connect.
Allowing it to work, yeah.
Wow.
Apparently
they really have no control over their App Store.
But in saying that, they seem to have a better control on their App Store than Android does. So
anyone. Like, I have better control over somebody about 500 kilometers that way than Android has on their own app store.
But all this is just over a commission for V-Bucks, and it's pretty much showed that Sony's greedier than friggin' Apple because they charge to do crossplay. So I wonder how much Epic paid played for their Fortnite to become crossplay, and how much did they pay for Apex Legends to become crossplay?
I honestly don't know. Sony were not very happy about that information going out.
Well, would you be? It shows you that you're a greedy piece of shit.
Exactly. There's also
what's the Nintendo stuff that's came out then that they're wanting to redact?
Oh, it was stuff about how much profit they made off Nintendo hardware, because as like everyone knows, Nintendo is the only hardware company that actually makes a profit off their hardware.
Yeah.
So I mean, whoop-de-doo-dah. They also had like in-depth.
Nintendo seems to be anything they touch turns to gold.
Pretty much.
They actually think about it.
It's also like Nintendo has a much higher licensing fee than any other company in the world. I mean, you get that Nintendo license of approval, you've literally got a selling game. It doesn't matter what the hell it is. It could be shit on a stick.
The Japanese will snap it up.
Exactly. Microsoft had documents leaked out, or not leaked out, put out that they review other companies' games, because they did a review on The Last of Us Part 2, but it was only for internal use. And the whole thing came out, and like IGN's done things on it and everything, which I thought was quite funny.
Why wouldn't you be testing games that your opposition are putting out?
It was a pretty badly written review. Like, it was definitely not done by a reviewer per se, but it was definitely done in a way that, like, to give Microsoft executives the knowledge of what's happening on the Sony side, game-wise, without them having to play it. So it's a bit weird.
Yep.
Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff coming out. The reason Microsoft was actually brought into it was because Apple dragged them into it, because they said, well, Microsoft takes a 70-30 split as well, like on their store. And Epic just fired out and pretty much said, this is an ecosystem on a console that no one else can get into without like them doing it. You've got, because it's a console, it's a gaming console, that's what it's for. This is an iPhone. It's not a gaming console. It's people's entire lives. Like, it shouldn't be a 70-30 split. There's also documents of back when the App Store was first built, from the guy who built it, pretty much going to who invented Apple? I can't remember his name anymore.
Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs said, after we're making $1 billion a year on the App Store, should we take it down to like, a 15% cut or a 10% cut if we can still maintain that $1 billion a year? And they just haven't done it, because they're making well excess of a few billion.
Yep.
It's a lot of nasty information coming out, and literally it's Apple going, well, these guys do it, why can't we, type thing. And Epic going is like, they're not doing the same thing as you. They've done the same to Sony, they've done the same to Nintendo. They're passing the blame to everyone else.
They're all pure gaming consoles, not a friggin' phone where you can play games on it, you can answer phone calls, you can text, you can do all this other stuff. And yeah.
What I can't believe is Apple's lawyer coming out and saying that Fortnite is putting lewd pictures on the screens for children. It's banana.
It's a cartoon. The other side of it is, I thought Apple would be grateful that Epic have done the bypass, because then when the kids go rack up the V-Bucks on the parent's credit card, it's not tied to the Apple account. They don't have to refund it. They say, oh, well, we didn't do it. Deal with Epic.
Exactly. The other thing...
Or does the amount of V-Bucks that go through the Apple store that much that they actually are losing a lot of money out of their 30%?
It has to be. It has to be.
Think about, like, what was it? It was I
I
think it
can't
was like
remember the last time I've seen anyone play Fortnite on a phone, even on an Android phone. I don't know anyone that actually plays Fortnite on a mobile device. iPad, iPhone,
apart from kids,
Android,
I don't know anymore. I
anything like that. Like most kids that I've seen are either playing on an Xbox, PlayStation, or Switch.
well, they've got access to them now. I mean, when Fortnite first came out, a lot of kids didn't have that luxury, but they could get their parents' phone.
Mm.
The other thing that came out was since Microsoft got pulled into this, they got brought up to the stand and literally just had a go at Apple, going, "Well, you wouldn't allow xCloud on there on your App Store because apparently you couldn't rate all the games." Or something like that. They literally wanted to charge for every single game on Game Pass to be on the App Store, right?
Yeah.
So that obviously Microsoft has found a way around it with having it through the browser, which apparently is working great from what I've heard from beta tests and stuff like that and reviews I've read. Yeah, and then they just turned around and said, "So what's the deal with Shadowplay being on your App Store?" It's the same thing. And apparently they've banned Shadowplay for a fourth time from the App Store because of that trial.
Fair enough. Shadow plays for what Sony one, is it?
No, it's I can't even remember.
Because
I
Sony
think
have
it's
allowed.
Steam.
Yeah, well, Sony have allowed you. I think now you can play your PS5 through your iPhone, and if you're on the same network, on your home network or whatever.
Oh yeah, they did that in PS4 though.
So, but anyways, you
It's
got to
never
move
worked.
along. I've got people turning up soon.
Okie dokie. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on that because literally it's a meme factory. But let's move on to something not as funny but more serious. We left the best till last. This week, both Xbox and Halo has celebrated their 20-year anniversary together. So, I mean, big congratulations to them. Honestly, a lot of people didn't see it going past the Xbox One. So, it's great that they made it to this milestone. It's been a big emotional fest for a lot of gamers online. So, if you think about it, even if you're not an Xbox fan, for what Xbox and Microsoft have actually brought to the gaming market and the gaming world in general, it wouldn't be where it is today. Like, they introduced Xbox Live, which was the first online multiplayer ecosystem where you could talk to your friends and stuff like that through a console if you had an internet connection and play online. Like, obviously PC had internet connectivity and stuff like that. You could play with people, but it was nowhere near that level. They brought Halo to consoles, which was the first FPS that could really show it could be done on consoles. And I mean, Halo's still going strong today, no matter what anyone says. It's still right up there.
Got a huge community.
Exactly. The tech innovations such as bringing hybrid solid state hard drives back in the Xbox One Elite, the vapor chamber SoC cooling systems that they used on the Xbox One X and even the Xbox Series X now, which has never been seen on the consumer market really. True 4K gaming along with 4K Blu-ray drive, even when Sony didn't even have it, even though it's their technology. And now Game Pass and cross-platform gaming and even cloud gaming that works for a much wider range of people that's never been seen before. The industry is completely different. Like, if you think about it, Xbox made such a big change. So, with like, what's your best Xbox memory, Coxy?
Shit, put me on the spot.
Yep.
I got no bloody idea.
Okay, bass.
Mine's just the friends I've got out of it. The end of the day that's just being able to sit back at night time. The people I've met that I've learned from it, being able to stay in contact with friends that I've got overseas and stuff like that, to be able to just sit back play the games, have a laugh, pretend I'm drinking with someone when I'm drinking by myself, and it's just being able to stay in contact with people and also make new friends through it. I think that's the biggest thing that's come out of for me for Xbox and gaming and all the rest of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, with the gaming just in general, because I've met so many people from Counter-Strike days back in 1.6, and then before we went to Source, and then making friends, going to Australia from meeting someone through playing Counter-Strike, Clash of Clans, meeting guys in the country, good friendships with them. We've gone and met up with them. I met a guy through Call of Duty Ghosts on PlayStation, one of my good mates. Every time we're in Hamilton, go catch up with them. They came to our wedding, So for me, yeah, the friendships that I've made through not just Xbox, for me it's gaming in general, really. So, but yeah, I have to agree. Jumping on at night when you're home alone and playing with those mates that you've met, till the early hours of the morning makes it worthwhile. And people on the outside can't understand why gamers game so much. It's like, well, the real world, I'm going to go talk with a guy that I can play a game with for 4 hours every night and talk shit and not have to worry about any repercussions for it. So, yeah, it's one of those things that, brings gamers together, which is good.
What about you, Birdie?
Honestly, it's the community. So, like, as much as I dig on EP games and jobs before that, I had like I've been very lucky. I've met a lot of people. Gone to PAX, I've gone to EP Expo. I've met people from Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. And it's such a happy environment. So yeah. I probably wouldn't be here today without gaming.
I think that's the end of the day. That's what it all comes down to: is the community and the people that are in it that make gaming. Even though we do get idiots that are trolls and all the rest of that kind of stuff, and you also lash out at the bloody 12-year-olds and stuff that are in there playing games that shouldn't be playing games at the level that they're playing at when they're playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it makes us laugh, it makes us rage, it makes us do all those kinds of emotions and everything else like that. But at the end of the day is we're here because we've got mates out of it and we all want to have fun. And at the end of the day, you can switch off, as Coxy said, you can switch off at the end of the night, jump on there with mates, go and pretend to kill someone or whatever you want to do, whether it's you want to, I know of mates that they'll have a Friday night competition where they get on their racing sims on their PlayStations, and some of the guys demo a bottle of wine while doing it, but it's just the laughs, the things that they talk about afterwards, and the things that they remember about doing these events and everything. It's what makes us want to come back and keep doing it. That's what it comes down to.
Hmm.
And I think the only reason I'd actually be on the Xbox sort of thing is because of one of mates of mine that he's pretty much I think he bleeds Microsoft, to be honest, and Xbox and everything. And that's the reason that I got the Xbox was because of him. I used to play on PC. At the end of the day, it made sense to jump on consoles because what I was spending on PCs and components was just getting ridiculous. But I think I probably turned that into a controller spending.
Yeah, I've developed one of those as well.
Yeah, I've got a small problem. I'm running out of spots.
Yeah, I have a pop vinyl addiction as well. So
I'm glad I don't have
between
that.
that and controllers, it's getting out of hand. But I ask both of you, how many times have you turned on your console, seen none of your friends are on, and turned it off?
Does putting my head on my desk and taking a nap until I hear a beep on my headset work?
Yes.
Yeah. Too many times.
You come home, you think, sweet, I'll go play with Bob. Bob's not online. Oh, it. I'll turn it off and go find something else to do. You know, that's
Yeah, you do get those times, but then you also get those times where you see no one on, so you get out your phone and you through Discord or any sort of messaging service, you send a message to them and get their ass online because you want to play games.
well, like every night, every day between Kiwi and I. What time are you on? What time are you getting on? What do you want to play? You know, like this morning, I was playing Outriders by myself. Gets a message from him. When are you on? Oh, I've been on for an hour. All right, I'm getting on. Give me 10 minutes. You know, so those friendships, you cherish those ones.
I think
Yeah,
it's just the ones that you develop and everything like that. And um, the other side of it is like there's one kid that I've got on my Xbox friends list. I played Apex with him, and we played I think 2 or 3 games, and we got the first game we got a win, and this kid was sort of understanding the strategies and everything. And anyway, the next game he sends me an invite, and I'm like, oh, stuff it, I'll join in. And I joined in, turned the mic on and everything, and he started chatting back to me because he turned his mic on and everything. And we played 2 or 3 games. But then he started chatting along, and he's like, oh, I play this and I play that. And then he's like seen me turn on Fortnite to play with my daughter. And he'll just send me a text message, send me a message on Xbox, and he's just like one of the nicest kids I've met. He sends you a message. He doesn't just jump in the party chat or anything. He just sends you a message. He goes, can I jump in and play? I'd like to play some Fortnite. And I just send back saying, look, my daughter's in with me. She doesn't want anyone in there. But I'd give me half an hour, or whatever it finishes, and we'll jump in. And you jump in with him, and he's just the nicest kid. He's always just tells you what's going on, has a laugh and everything like that. I don't play with him that often, but when he sees you online, he'll just send me a message like, can I join in and jump sort of and play and everything. And it's just kind of those random people that you start to talk to. You're like, I got no idea where this kid lives, what he does, or anything else like that. He's just wants to play games. And he just likes to chat and learn and different things like that. And like telling him about different strategies in Apex. And Eddie started to click and he started to get it. And he was starting to I was just sitting back and watching him just clean up people. And it is just interested to see that kind of friendship that you develop at the end of the day. Is if I walk past him in the street, I wouldn't know what the hell he looks like or what he is or anything like that. I just know his voice. I just know by chatting away with him, and that's what he's like. But then I've had other people that just jump into parties and start chatting away with him and everything, and you're just like, can you just get out? Can you boot? Can I boot this guy?
Yep, I know that one.
like I
But
still
the other
play.
side of it,
Hmm?
we get that with Outriders when we forget to
Go
lock the
private.
party on that side of thing. But sometimes we just leave it open because you don't know what you're going to get.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's absolute trash.
Yeah, or sometimes you just get like random friends of mine that jump in there that are level 30 and just make the game a whole lot harder for us.
Like I still play Apex ranked with somebody I met during Halo 2. Like we've been Xbox Live friends for that long, and
Mm.
I think he lives in America. I have no idea.
But it's just one of those things that's the end of the day, it doesn't matter where you're situated in the world. I know with Darth, because like he's overseas. Like, that's the way I catch up with him, is to play Xbox games with him and stuff like that. But I know some of the friends that he's got that have been in sessions with us. He's got a couple of mates that live in England, and that's how they catch up, sort of thing. Is just be like, I'd be in the session with them, and I just let them catch up, let them chat, and all the rest of it. I just toddle along playing the game with them and have a chat with them, and it's how I've met new people. I've had people add me on Xbox that are just friends of friends, and they just, end of the day is they'll see you playing a game and send you an invite, or you get a party request or everything else like that. It's, to me, gaming is just like, is a different way of socializing and meeting new people and meeting people that are like-minded.
Exactly. So it's no doubt that, like, the past 20 years of Xbox has meant a lot to everyone. I hope they keep going for another 20 years, and the rumors that they're not going to make consoles anymore and stuff like that, and it's just going to be a dongle that goes in the back of your monitor. Because that would be stupid.
I think you're still going to be making consoles for the as much as they say they're not going to make consoles and stuff like that.
They personally haven't said it. It's analysts.
Yeah, the rumors and analysts and everything like that. I think they need to look at where technology is in the supporting technology. So the fact you've got like internet, you've got routing through the world, you've got all this kind of stuff that's got to bloody keep up, sort of thing. At the end of the day, is everyone's going to need a decent fiber connection to their house to be able to even run games that are just being streamed over the internet, where pretty much your console per se is in a data center.
Oh, I mean, Sony's trademarked PlayStation through to 10. So, to me, they've still got 5 more consoles.
I don't think consoles are going to go anywhere anytime soon in the next probably 10, maybe 20 years. I still reckon we're still going to be, in 20 years' time, we'll probably be
full of arthritis, fucking
full of
struggling
yeah.
to stand up, but still talking shit on Sunday morning.
Actually,
we'll be getting those adaptive Xbox controllers.
I was about to say that,
because we can't hold a controller properly, but we'd still be on there on Sundays, still having a chat, still pulling the piss out of each other, and still playing games.
That actually reminded me.
Or we'll be in VR.
Yeah, that actually reminded me of like my second EB Expo or something like that. They had a corner for Starlight Foundation, with a couple of Starlight kids and stuff like that. Like, EB is a big thing with Starlight, which is good. They help them out a lot. I got my ass absolutely handed to me in Halo 4 multiplayer by a kid. His name was Luke, and he used an Xbox adaptive controller because he doesn't have the proper motor functions. But I've never seen anyone play like that. It was ridiculous. And
yeah,
it was amazing playing with him.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, when you see those videos for those adaptive controllers and everything, the amount that Xbox has been able to give people to get into this community by doing those adaptive controllers, and by doing, like, even though the Kinect wasn't that crash hot and stuff like that, but it got people doing stuff. It got kids up dancing together and doing different things like that. It was, and doing motion and moving around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, anyways, what are we playing?
Well, I've been playing Apex, as everyone knows. Started Mass Effect Legendary Edition because I'm a N7 geek, and why the hell not? And a little bit of Outriders. That's pretty much it lately. Coxy.
Yeah, for me, it's a lot of Outriders. Trying to get to tier 15. Being able to solo it is the main goal at the moment, so a lot of grinding. Apex Arenas is where you'll find me if I'm not playing Outriders. And I started the DLC for Valhalla yesterday morning. So
I saw you were playing Valhalla. How is the DLC?
I'm probably half an hour into it because I don't get a lot of time to play it. But half an hour was trying to remember what all the buttons were. So familiarizing myself with that, and it's still such a stunning game, and I can't wait to get into my house and put it on my OLED TV because my monitor just doesn't cut it. So, but yeah, ask me again in a fortnight once I've managed to play it a bit more, and we'll see if I'm still enjoying it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. What have I got? I've been playing Apex because I've been getting people giving me curry to try and play ranked. So I've been playing ranked. What else have I started Mass Effect because I've never played the game before. See, I'm not an OG Xbox person. I think I came in at about the 360 era.
That's when Mass Effect started.
Yeah, but majority of my gaming was on PlayStation 1. So it was the 360, and then when the first Xbox after the 360 came out was when I really was taking it seriously, playing on Xbox. So I mean, yeah, the Mass Effect Legendary one. In saying that, I've got Ratchet and Clank and Horizon Zero Dawn downloaded that I want to actually get back and play before the new Ratchet and Clank comes out. So I've been told that that's a pretty good game to play.
Apparently, the new Ratchet and Clank pushes the PlayStation 5. So interesting to see what your thoughts on that after playing that.
Yeah, I want to
Have
see
you
if it
seen the
sets it on fire.
price on it?
No.
Ratchet and Clank, just the standard one in Australia is $125 for the game,
Oh,
and then
fuck.
the digital whatever the digital premium edition is 140. So
And
Sony
saying
is
that,
certainly making sure that their PS5 games are priced.
a
adequately.
AAA
games.
title over here is $130 anyway. So
But well, I don't know, I suppose Mass Effect Legendary isn't a specific X and S game, Series X, Series S game. So, but that was only $90.
Oh, it's 100. We just got a discount with Game Pass.
Yeah. But in saying that, you could have picked it up $70 from Amazon.
Mm.
So I'm yeah, and I've got other games I want to get back to, but we're just playing a bit of Apex. I do pick up and play a little bit of Fortnite with my daughter. She's actually kicking my ass in the battle pass at the moment, so I either need to spend some time in that or spend some V-Bucks catching up to her.
Wait till your son gets onto it. You're going to get your ass double kicked.
Oh, he already has finished both Paw Patrol games on Switch. So he's definitely enjoys that. He loves his Mario Kart with his steering wheel and everything.
Oh, does he like that?
Yeah, it's just a little issue with the steering wheel where you can't, when you're in the game, you can't use the arrow, the D-pad to move it to single races because there's only certain levels he likes to play, but it only ever lets you go to the Grand Prix one with the steering wheel. So
That's weird.
I don't know whether that's a control, but then if you go back to the home menu, you can use the D-pad on the Switch. So it's like it doesn't get used in the game. You can't use it.
Because is the controller. Do you
No,
have to
the
put a
controller
Joy-Con
doesn't.
into it?
Nope.
Okay.
And you can't turn a Joy-Con on either to like select it for him because it puts you as player 2.
Make sure you don't have motion controls on, because that stops the D-pad sometimes, from what I've heard.
Oh, in the
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart. All right.
Just double check that. I'm not sure if I'm right or not. It's just something that's on my mind.
All
right. So, better wrap this up quickly. Coxy, where can we find you?
X, Dirty Coxy X on pretty much everything now that I've pulled my finger out and got everything online.
Nice.
In order.
Bass.
Mine's BassMstrAU and pretty much everything. If you want to, the other thing is to plug is if you want to find any of us, just go to essentialgamer.com.au
Yeah, we have
and
a
you'll
website.
find us all on there on the website.
A very pretty website that Bass built all by himself.
To do something.
And you can find me at birdyassassin on everywhere. I stream on YouTube now instead of Twitch because let's face it, who cares? But yeah, as Bass said, find us all at essentialgamer.com.au. You'll find all of our profiles for everything and anything important. So if you'd like to get a hold of us at the show, you can email us at podcast@essentialgamer.com.au, or you can share something cool with us on Facebook or Instagram at essentialgamerau, or on Twitter at essentialgameau. And we will see you here next time for episode 9 in a couple of weeks, and hopefully we'll have the full crew back.